and pulling out at a 45.
And just wax, it'd be harder to do then.
Yep. Okay. Now they're going to pull them out here. All right. Started a queen cell there. Nope. And queen cup there. Get rid of your queen cups because you want your timing, not theirs.
These are very cold.
Okay, I'm going to pop one more right here, all the way down. Watch you don't bump the egg. Foundation pulled out. Okay.
So your hive tool, was it in the same octagon as the egg when you pulled it down?
Yep.
Okay.
Or if you had a black magic marker. Okay, man after my own heart.
It's one right on top of my...
I always carry one, but this isn't my jacket. Or queen cell and put an arrow where these queen cells are at. All right. So now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you on this, and then we're going to show you some realistic part. All right. So here's my frame. If that was an egg, I'm going to pull down. I can be selective. Okay. If you want to notch a few eggs, well, we're just going to go one side right now. All right. So now, say they pulled out 5. Not only are they going to pull the ones that you've done, they're going to pull out their own. Just, it's the bees. I'm going to come back in here when it's capped day. What day is it?
10, 9.
9. All right. I'm going to come back in here. Am I going to pull this frame up like this? I'm going to pull that outside first. Over. Because what happens to a queen cell? It comes out and emerges a little bit. What if you pull it to center? It's going to crush it right off. All right, so here's what you've done. Queen cell here, queen cell here, queen cell here. I'm going to turn around and hedge my bets on at least 2 of them. I don't want one queen to come out and have to fight 2 other sisters, because by the time she makes a maiden flight, what if she has damaged wings? Okay, you want her the best health. So I'm going to find the 2 that have the best, longest abdomen, longest shell, and nice thick thorax. I'm going to come in and play a little bit of God and go, okay, this one's good, this one, say this one comes out, this one's a little tiny peanut. Is that a quality queen? No. Crush it. Boom, done, she's dead. Now the best here, best here. Now, goes back in my cell builder. All of these are going to push together to keep them warm. All right? Because we did 2, now, if you had enough resources, you had enough bees, nectar, cat brood, nurse bees, now, per se, here's 2 of them really good on this one, here's 2 really good on this one. What could you do if you had enough resources? Make a nuke on the 10th day, put it over here, frame of nurse bees, frame of nectar, frame of honey, make a nuke here, or leave this one in it. Now you've just taken 1 hive, queen, another break or another nuke in your original. So you just took 1, turned it into 3.
Okay, we've got 1 hive that's weak.
Okay.
Can we do that?
No. You need it. You need a hive.
I mean, to get a new queen in that hive.
No.
To requeen it.
But take your really good hive, take one that's really busting, because here's what happens. 3 different things. It takes them 3 weeks to get another queen into here, okay? What you could do is take the old queen from one of your good hives, put it in your weak hive, a couple frames of brood with her, let them build back up. Notch on another frame and let them redo a queen, because if you like her genetics, do you want to take your weak hive and you want to split her genetics, or do you want to take a strong queen and split her genetics? Okay. Plus, they have to have enough brood, honey, nectar, resources, because they're going to go without eggs for up to 3 weeks.
All right.
So they have to have tons of resources. If they have enough resources, you can come in here and look and go, okay, maybe they got enough to split once, definitely once. Maybe within another 2 weeks, By the time these are capped in that 10th day, maybe I got enough between this one here, and they got enough honey in the box, I could split this down 2 different ways.
Yeah, I guess I was thinking not so much for a split, but just to requeen that hive.
Yep, and
That's-
that's what you're basically doing, is
just
requeening.
requeening.
Okay, so take your really strong hive that you have, give her to the weak one, take some frames of brood with her, beef them up. What you're doing is you're equalizing out your hives. This one notch, come back and evaluate your peanuts on the 10th day. Pick your best, longest, thick, nice, healthy peanuts. Play God, squash out your inferiors, and let them sit right on the top. Do not touch for 2 weeks. By the time she emerges on the 16th, 7 to 10 days to sexually mature, a week and a half, and maybe possibly 2 to start laying eggs. If you keep interrupting and coming here and checking, you're messing with the pheromones, you're messing up with the retinue. So what you want is this. So what I'm going to do now, because we have nice brood on the outside, now I want to keep this nice and warm. Tons of nurse bees on this. So now I'm going to come over here. We got the nice mark on it, so now we can turn around and put the date on the top. Try not to roll over or squash bees. Drop in, slide 2. Let me take this out. And we'll give this back to them. Give this back to them, they can draw it out. And then always, if a box calls for 10 frames, how many frames do you put in it?
10.
What happens if you put in 9?
They build cross comb.
They'll build it for you.
Weird shit, and then you're gonna cuss later.
Yep. All right. So when I come back here, I'm gonna put everything back together. She is gonna take any varroa with her. You didn't break the brood cycle. The other good part about this hive, because it's gonna go broodless for about a week and a half. What happens to the varroa? They crash. The bees build up. The varroa is going to take off a few weeks later and come up with them, but you just restarted the clock on this varroa. So if you say you had a mite check of 4 and 5, you check it in 2 weeks, you're going to be down to 0 because you're breaking the brood cycle. You just started another hive. Now, if you only have 1 or 2 hives and you break this cycle and you go into winter, say you had 2, you split into 6. What happens if you lose a hive or 2? Is it going to set you back real bad? What if you only had 2 and you go into winter with 2 and 1 dies? Now you just split, you 50% loss. It's a way to turn around and make up your sustainability. Let the bees do the work. Now, do you have to graft it? Do you have to trap pollen? Do you have to turn around and do all the other stuff that I showed you inside? No.
Nope.
You're letting the bees do all the work. As long as this is still healthy and booming. Put your boxes back together, right on the top. Notched, put a check mark, whatever language you know, shorthand you know. Put the date, notched, and then put on there. Check in 10 days, and put the date, so you know exactly. So when you walk by on your telescoping cover, so let's put this back together, and instead of talking about it, we'll just do it.
When you went back to select the peanut, you just leave 1 then, right?
I'm leaving 2,
2, okay.
because why do I leave 2?
In case something happens.
Okay, in case something happens to one,